This video is about me looking out for you guys. I'm trying to make sure you don't mess up the way I did. Don't don't do the things I did. My name is Hannah. Assalamu alaikum, by the way. I make faith, health, and lifestyle related videos, and this video is going to be about all of the things that I wish I knew before I started working out. So let me just kind of give you a quick background into all of this good stuff. I've been working out for 8 months straight. When I say working out, I mean like weightlifting, strength building type workout, and I'm pretty impressed with myself because 8 months is a long time to sustain this. I did take a break during Ramadan because I was working a lot. I was not going to be able to maintain a good calorie intake, and I didn't want to be dropping weight and looking, and just, you know, reaping the consequences of not making the healthy decision. So I ended up delaying that, and then I got right back into it after Ramadan. I've only ever been exposed to like people who work out serially. So they work out for 2 months straight, and then they stop, and then they go back to it 5 months later, and it's just a back and forth. So being able to sustain it, it really took a lot of mindset work and trying to figure out what worked for me. But I screwed up on a bunch of different things, and I just remember thinking, man, I wish somebody would have given me a PDF or a pamphlet or something to look out for. So this video is going to be that pamphlet for you guys, okay? What I wish I would have known before working out. Now, again, I focus on strength building. This is, for hormone health, for mental health. This is for for reducing the risk of osteoporosis. I am a more petite gal, and so my risk is a little higher than other people normally would, and I just want to get on it as soon as possible. What I wish I knew before working out. First thing, these are what things I wish I knew, but these are things you need to know. Please just watch the video. The soreness you feel the first time that you work out is a very different type of soreness. It's extremely painful. When I first got into working out, I was focusing mainly on arms. My arms hurt so bad, I could not extend my arm. I remember I was texting some of my friends who also work out, and I was like, I think I did something wrong because I am in so much pain right now. This makes absolutely no sense. You guys talk about the soreness feeling good. This does not feel good. Like, if this is how it's going to feel, this is not sustainable. This is going to happen probably the first few times you work out because you're engaging muscles in a way that you've never engaged them before. You're forcing your body to go through the energy channels at a faster rate and at a higher degree than you previously were doing, and because of that, lactic acid is going to build up much more than ever. Your body doesn't know how to react to it, and in addition, you are going to be kind of straining some of the tendons and ligaments that hold your bones and your muscles together, and you're going to get a little bit of inflammation because of that. Pop a Motrin, don't let that discourage you. The other thing that I will say about soreness is that good form and a good routine and knowing what you're doing and starting off with weights that are safe, especially when you're getting started, is going to be super important to avoiding injury so that you're not confusing normal soreness for soreness that's actually indicating that you hurt yourself and need to be resting. I'm going to make, inshallah, a completely different video about just how to get started with a workout routine, because I know that was very overwhelming for me. That's going to be another video, inshallah, so keep an eye out for that. Number 2. This is something actually I was very grateful when it was told to me pretty early on. But when you first start working out, you might think, oh, as long as I'm working out, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm doing the exercises. I'm going to build a muscle. I'm going to lose the weight, whatever your goal is. My goal wasn't to lose weight. It was strictly to pack on mass and like build muscle. And it doesn't work like that. Your body doesn't work like that. Your metabolism does not work like that. In order to build muscle, you need protein. Protein is the building block of muscle. Your muscles are made of, think of little bricks of protein. So you can be busting your butt, you can be doing the hardest workout, you can be exerting and giving it your all and doing your best. But if you don't have protein, you're not going to build muscle. And in fact, your body's going to break down your muscle because it needs to get its energy from somewhere to make up for all the energy that you just dispensed. So because of that, make sure you have your diet right in the very beginning. This is going to be, if I had to give like 3 main tips for managing diet. cut out the junk. You're just going to feel really crappy when you're working out. To increase your protein, they say, there's a whole thing of like 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. I think that, yes, that definitely is a way to go. But if it's so overwhelming to you, just focus initially on uptaking your protein at every meal. And then the third thing I will say is look up calorie counts and like how many grams of protein are in, sorry, not calorie counts, but how many grams of protein are in 3 hard-boiled eggs or in, a chicken breast or whatever. So you start being able to get a sense of reference of like how much protein there is in it. And then you can keep a number in your head that you're counting up to. So, if you're trying to get 90 grams of protein or 150 grams of protein, well, that means that I'm going to need to have this much at lunchtime and this much at breakfast time and this much at dinner time. Protein shakes, this is why people have protein shakes. It's much easier to get your protein in a shake form. And there are a lot of really good ones. Finding what you like can be a challenge, but just remember you need to get your protein up. Ease into it. Don't overwhelm yourself. Figure out what works for you. If you don't like the food you're eating, you're not going to eat it and you're not going to meet your nutrition needs for building muscle. So slowly get into it. Upping your protein period is going to be an accomplishment initially, and then you can tweak it and figure out how much you need to do at each meal and start meal planning around it and introduce the whichever protein shake you like. I would introduce that very early on, honestly, because that's going to be the best way to get it, and you can drink it right after you finish your workout. This one, I need a moment here because this has caused so much chaos in my life that had I known this in the beginning, I would be saved from a lot of grief. It might sound obvious, but just bear with me here, okay? Wash your face after working out. You're like, oh, honey, of course. Why would you not do that? If you should wash. I don't sweat very easily. I don't. So I would in the morning do my face routine, and I had this thick sunscreen that I would wear that was it was a strong sunscreen. I would go to the gym. I did my little cardio. I did my workout. I do not sweat. I don't drip sweat. Even my armpits, I don't I broke out into a fungal acne rash. It's called melastasea folliculitis all over my face. It was painful. It was itchy. It ended up disturbing my skin barrier. I ended up dealing with acne since then. For all these months, I'm still managing the acne that I believe came as a result of the inflammatory response in my skin barrier being screwed up, and then my pores now no longer functioning like they used to. Wash your face. My sunscreen was not fungal acne safe, so when my body was heating up and the oil was being produced, and even though it's not sweating, it stimulated the reproduction of the natural yeast that lives on our face, and I got the rash because of that, and it was just so frustrating. It took a lot to get rid of. So wash your face. What I did after that is I kept a face wash in my gym bag and a moisturizer, and I would just go after and to the sink and I would wash my face. So do that. Don't play yourself. You're gonna end up, even if you don't end up with a fungal acne rash, at the very least you're gonna end up breaking out because you're gonna have increased oil production. Even if you don't sweat, right, your skin is still going to get hot and it's going to make some more oil. So just be better than me. The next thing is I wish that, and I learned this now, honestly, in the recent 2 months, if you are a woman and you're getting your period, work out for your period. What does this mean? This can be a whole topic all on itself, but recognize that during your menstrual cycle, and when I say menstrual cycle, I'm talking about the 28 or so day cycle of hormones that we go through, with your period being the first week of that, your energy levels are changing. Your ability to generate power changes. Your actual muscles' capacity to generate enough power to lift weight, or your heart's capacity or your lung capacity, all of that changes based on these hormones. This isn't something sexist, or this is the reality of female biology. Our biology is dictated by these hormone shifts. And because of that, you should alter your workouts based on that biology. And so it means that in that time, especially, the time, the 1 to 2 weeks before your period, you're slowing down. You're not going as aggressively. You're lowering the weights that you're doing. You're not doing intense cardio at that point. Your that piece of advice will change your life. Because if you find yourself hating working out because you're feeling so icky after, check what point of your menstrual cycle you're in. Because I wouldn't be surprised if you're in that point where your energy is much lower. And when you are able to kind of bring it down, you're actually doing your body a favor, because cortisol is released when you're working out and when you're working out intensely. In the period right before your actual bleeding time, so the 1 to 2 weeks, having cortisol be released actually is very detrimental to your health. Your progesterone is trying to go up, and cortisol affects that, and so it ends up just not being any good, and then it's going to screw up your period for the next month. It affects your hormone cascade in all sorts of ways. So just be mindful of that. If your body's telling you, hey, this is too much for us right now, lower the intensity. You don't necessarily need to stop altogether. What I do is once it's that point of time, and I know because I literally cannot do the workouts that I was able to do just last week. I am so winded. I'm gasping for air for something that I could rock out just a week ago. So I'll change to things that are, maybe yoga, Pilates, walking, very lightweight training. I really cut it down, and you'll honestly probably even see a good amount of gains while doing that, because you're not tearing your body apart. So, yeah. Oh, raise your hand if you've ever thrown up while working out. Hi, multiple times. Don't eat before you work out. They say eat an hour or two. If you're going to eat an hour beforehand. I would recommend 2 or 3 hours beforehand. I threw up so many times. I was that girl. I was like a drunk girl in the bathroom at the gym. Someone had to hold my hijab up. No one actually had to do that, but I would get so nauseous. And the reason being is that when you're eating, your body's going to send blood flow to your GI system to break everything down. But when you're working out, your body now needs to take that blood flow and send it to the muscles that are working out. So there's not blood flow to your stomach, and you get super nauseous, and your body's going to be like, well, we can't digest this right now. We need it out. And you're going to throw up. It was horrible, and I just wish somebody had told me that earlier. I had to learn the hard way. So the other thing I will say is that there are people who, as their pre-workout kind of thing, I don't use pre-workout, but will take sugar candies or all of these junk type things. And I was like, oh, let me try it one day. And so I had Sour Patch Kids or something like that. I don't even remember. And I vomited so bad after that. I felt horrible. Your sugar is just not processed sugar is just not something your body needs to be operating off of. It's extremely inflammatory to our body. There are lots of other, if you want to use something that's a pre-workout and a sugar, get a natural sugar. Eat a banana or an apple or honey if you want. Stay away from the super processed stuff. You're going to feel you're going to feel like garbage. Oh, step out. I wish somebody would have told me that as soon as I felt dizzy or the slightest bit of lightheadedness, to listen to it and stop working out. I just thought, oh, this must be part of the process, right? The number of times I almost fainted. I would literally just be laying down at the gym. No one, if you want proof that no one cares what's going on, pass out at the gym. No one's paying attention to you. But it was just really, very often I would feel that way. And the biggest, if I had to go back, the biggest piece of advice I would give myself is drop the weight, and it was probably because I was working out very hard, and usually it would be in the 1 to 2 weeks before my period starts. So that same period of time where I should have actually been lowering the weights, because you can't exert that same level of energy, I would end up getting dizzy because of it, because it's too much strain on your heart. You just cannot, your heart is not able to pump that much. It's going to drop your blood pressure. You're not going to have, you're just not going to have the capacity to do what you would otherwise be able to do. It keeps going back to the menstrual cycle thing. So just stop as soon as you feel dizzy. Listen to your body. If that's the one piece of advice you can take from this video, to listen to your body when you are feeling nauseous or dizzy, or you're just feeling super winded. Slow it down. You can always come back to it later, but you cannot reverse the damage that you do once you go too far. Does that make sense? Okay. Last piece of advice I have for you is that there's like a debate. Do you do cardio first? Do you do cardio at the end? I would do cardio at the end. If you're going to do cardio and during your workout, during a weightlifting session, I recommend doing it at the end, because if you do in the beginning, at least if you're like me, you're going to exert yourself. You're going to burn a lot of energy that you could have burned lifting weights, and that can contribute to you feeling dizzy, nearly passing out, just not being able to get a good workout in. So do some gentle dynamic stretching in the beginning, and then jump into your full-on workout, and then the lightest bit of cardio at the end, or save your cardio for other days. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you can take this like big sister advice and to be better than me. If you guys like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share this with people who might be looking into getting into working out. I promise it will be very helpful. And yeah, assalamu alaikum.